Hello everyone, this is Damien with episode number 5 of Intermediate Java. Today we're going to be talking about how to separate your program into multiple files. Some of you may have caught this in Beginner's Java back before I switched it over to the new stuff. It's going to be a little bit different than that. So there may be little tidbits here that you didn't catch. So first things first, we're going to sort of expand everything out. And you'll notice that we have like lesson one. I never rename my lesson as I go forward. It's under source, default package, and then lesson.java. So we're going to do a few different things here. First things first, we're going to add a package. So we're going to go to new package, and we're just going to call this com.int.java. And so we're going to do that, and then we'll drop this right under there, hit OK. And so now we have lesson.java there. We'll delete it here, and then our default package is totally gone. So now when we open this, you'll notice that it now has this line package com.int.java there. That's going to need to be at the top of each of your files, so it sort of knows what else is going to be in that same package directory. So what we're going to do here is we're now going to do a quick, let's see, I think that I'll just toss a couple methods in a new file and just sort of leave it at that. So what I'll do here is I'll keep that. Yeah, okay. So new class, and we'll make this file 2, and it's definitely not going to have a main because you can only have one main. Okay. So what we're going to make in here is we're going to make a simple method, and we'll call it public, let's say add numbers. And so this is going to take an int, or well, we'll actually do double A and double B. So we'll just do a return A plus B, public double add numbers. And then we're just going to copy paste that 3 times to kind of do it for each of our things. So that's going to be sub numbers, mult numbers, and div numbers. Okay. So as many of you know, I always use this sort of calc method of teaching, where I just sort of make a simple calculator to show new functions, because it's such an easy way to break things down in a quick period of time. So I suppose we're going to have to import scanner for this, aren't we? So we'll do import java.util.scanner. Funny thing about that is I just got rid of it immediately before starting this lesson. Like, oh yeah, I'm not going to use that at all. Scanner input equals new scanner system.in. And then we're going to do system.out.println. Enter the first number. And then we'll do double first num equals input dot next double. And we're just going to copy that. Make that second num, second number. And then we'll just kind of do a simple enter the sign, enter 1 for A, 2 for sub, 3 for mult, for div. So then we'll do int choice equals input dot next int. And so then I think that the quickest way to do this would probably just be a switch. And so if we really wanted to, I suppose, you know what, we'll put the switch in another file, since I guess that's a good way of doing things. So we'll do switch, or not switch. We'll do well, let's flesh it out over here first. And since we're going to do it that way, we're going to actually make this private, and then oh no, nope, not that. That's going to stay public. This is going to be private. So we're going to make that a private method, which means that only stuff that's inside its own class can act on it. So we're going to make all these private, just because that seems like a good way to spend our time here. Okay. And now we're going to make a public class, and we'll call it selector. And or I should make that a public static void. Oh no, because I can't do it that way. Yeah, because that's going to yell at me for trying to call it from a static. Well, I don't see why I can't make it static. It's fine. Just have to make all of these static, as little as I like to. Once I put out a thing on objects in the beginners class, I'm going to expect everyone to go back and watch that so I can show you how to get around doing static. So public static double selector int choice, and then we're going to do int choice, and then this is just going to be double my num. Return my num, and then it's just going to be like double my num equals 0.0. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a switch statement here for choice. And choice is then going to break off into cases. So case 1 is, oh, that's not even how you do that. So case 1, I hate how people do that. I like having that indented by 1, but some people don't. So apparently the default is not to indent it by 1, which drives me plain old crazy. 2, 3, 4. Okay, please indent all those. 2, 3, 4, and we can make a default as well. Okay, so then we're going to do, what was it? Addition, so it's going to be add, oh yeah, I should probably take in 2 doubles as well. Double A, comma, double B. So that's going to then be add numbers A, comma, B. And then that's going to be break. Oh, and I have to set that equal to my num equals, just like that. And why is that complaining? Method add numbers is undefined for file. Normally it doesn't give you any crap when you do it that way. Public static double. Oh, duh. There we go. It helps if you type it right. That is my personal experience with most things. And in this case, we'll do my num equals negative 99.999. Okay. And break, sure. All right. So I feel like, oh yeah, there we go. All right, so what this is going to do then is this is going to take in our choice and our two numbers. It's then going to pass those off to private methods. Oh, so I have to change this to sub mult and div. And so then once we save that, we'll simply do, what the hell was the name of that? So it's selector, and we're passing in choice. Then first num, second num. And so that's actually not setting it to anything, so I suppose that we can then set it to double total equals, and that's not really a good total. Oh, yeah, so the way that we call it, since we obviously can't call just selector, is we do file2 dot selector, just like that, and we can get rid of that since we already had those args there. And so then, now that we have everything else there, sorry, I didn't mean to click that, we can do system.out.println the value of that operation is, and then just do plus total. I hate using total there because it doesn't really make sense, but that should work. So we're going to run this as a Java application. We'll do 5, 7, and we'll multiply them together. So we got back 35.0, which is pretty good. So let me see how I'm doing on time. Okay, I have enough time to kind of step through this just to sum it up. So the first thing we did was we created a new package that we place both of these in. That's not really that important right now, but if these were in different packages, there would be a different way to sort of identify what we were calling. That's going to get very important when we start doing classes. So we then just simply made two doubles and int, had the user fill those in. Then we passed those off, setting a variable called total, which is terrible for this, but we then send those off to a different file by calling the file name followed by the method that we want inside that file. We then pass in these arguments to that. So jumping over there, we come right here to selector. Selector is taking those three arguments as a constructor. We then create a simple variable there. We could have used one of these, but I didn't want it to become confusing. We do a simple switch. The switch then hits these private methods. So just to show you why I did it that way, if we were to try to call one of those methods normally, so let's say I wanted to do file2 dot add numbers, first num, comma, second num, just like that, you'll notice that it's saying that it's not visible. So I can change add numbers to default, so that means it would strip away the private from it, and that way it would be visible to the whole package, but we don't want that. We only want this selector to be able to call these. So this is what we call modularization. It breaks our files down and it adds permissions to things. You know, what can call our methods? How can these methods be called? And if they're not called properly, the program will error. That gives us a great opportunity to use try catch. And so with that said, I'm Damien. Thank you for tuning in. Happy holidays.